Alright, and welcome to Nerdgasm. This is a CGC order. 2 boxes worth of cards. I think we clocked in at like 56 cards altogether. This was me and 3 other collectors. I believe I'm the only one that submitted stuff for resale. The rest of us were for our personal collection. And right off, we have a card from 1984, so it's 40 years old. Evil Lyn. It's in a Masters of the Universe set. Buddy of mine owns a collectible shop, and he got this whole set submitted in this submission. And right off the top, we're looking at a mint plus of a 40-year-old card. It is just gorgeous. I had high hopes for A.T. Perry playing on my professional team, and they actually cut him while this card was off to be graded. It's numbered to 13. I still think it's a beautiful card, and I have a matching one with a buddy whose lucky number is serial number to 7. So I had bought both of them, and I thought this young man would have a better time with my team, but he didn't. This is a 1986 Pete Rose card. I believe Pete hadn't passed away yet when my friend submitted this one. And you can kind of see the flaws on this card. Not a hard 8.5. I mean, this card's 38 years old and obvious corner damage. I mean, you can see it. That's the problem with them red backs. But cool. Modern card. Gem Mint 10. This Mr. De La Cruz is going to go places with his career. I'm excited that I got back into baseball this year to watch it. This card is for my buddy who also had the Pete Rose card. And trying to get adjusted here. And okay, another baseball card for my friend with the other 2. Pristine 10. This is the best grade CGC has to offer. I don't know much about Mr. Wilkin, Brock Wilkin with the Brewers. Hey, hope he has a great career and my friend has a great investment piece here. Or just a heirloom he can pass down to his kids. Either way. I'm trying out a new platform. Sorry about that. This is a Magic card I picked up in basically this guy was cleaning out his attic. And I saw this one and I'm like, it's not that high end of a card. But with my elite discount, I've liked the centering on it. And it's Lord of the Rings themed. So I ran with it, like Lord of the Rings and Magic does great at shows. Gem Mint 10 condition. I think I can be really happy with the little bit of capital I've invested into the card on any return of investment. Keep it a low sale and make somebody else really happy too. And that's part of the fun of it. This is a Pokemon card from the TV show or the movie, first movie, Silver Foil. This is from my friend's kid's Pokemon collection that he inherited. I think we're going on 2 years now with this Pokemon project. And we're just slowly grading things as we go because up until 2 years ago, neither one of us really knew much about it till he found it in the attic and the kid said, I don't want it. And this here has Charmander and Ash in the photo. And both are pretty popular characters. I wish these last 2 Pokemon cards that we've looked at had graded higher. But we're really, overhead-wise, the cost of grading. So anything over that is profit. A Bulbasaur from the first print, 7.5. That one will probably wind up, at the bargain box. We're going to match this card to some child. It's going to be his first graded card or her first graded card at a convention. And we'll probably sell it for $10-11. And everybody will be happy. The kid gets a graded card. We always give them a free little display stand. And it's all about creating memories. And another Bulbasaur. Ulterior motives behind constantly submitting Bulbasaur One of my convention buddies is a super collector of this specific Pokemon. So anytime I'm buying out someone else's collections and I see Bulbasaur, I'm submitting it for grading, because at worst, I'm going to break even on it, giving it to my friend at no profit, as long as he just makes me whole. Jaden Daniels, I do live in South Louisiana. LSU players sell really, really well. I don't collect LSU players unless they play for the New Orleans Saints. So this is straight up going to be a flip. It graded out as a 9, so I'll probably keep it on the lower end of the asking prices and just try to get back my cost of grading. Jalen Hurts, Sapphire Parallel from the retail boxes. It's a nice card. I was hoping it would grade at least a 9.5 or so, but there's Eagles fans around here. This will be a flip at a convention. I got to keep realistic expectations there. CJ Stroud, rookie card, Sage. He's in his Ohio State uniform, but with Sage being unlicensed, there's only so much they can show logo-wise. It came out as an 8. So kind of on a run of quarterback cards that graded lower than I would have liked, but they're popular quarterbacks, so there's going to be somebody that'll want them. And then here we got another CJ Stroud, but this one's a pristine 10. So I can get a little fun with this one. I could probably make a significant return on it. Significant in terms of lower end stuff. And even then, if a child would, offer me a lot less than the number in my head, if it's still a profit and I'm making somebody happy, who really gives a crud? And okay, CJ Stroud again, and this one's Gem Mint 10, not a pristine 10. And I really wish they would put, what kept it from being pristine as opposed to gem. They have grader notes on the customer side of the website, but there's never anything in the notes. So I don't know if that's still something that they're beta testing on their end, or if there's just been nothing worth noting. Another CJ Stroud, another pristine. This one is a little more licensed. You can actually see the Ohio State stuff. Nothing had to be airbrushed out. We have the NFL logo on the rear. This is as licensed as it gets. The only thing that would have made it nicer than being a pristine gem rookie card would have been an autograph. And then here's Charizard, Gem Mint 10 in Japanese. Not a higher end set, not a tourney legal card. Just a nice little collector's item that's in Gem Mint condition. And it's one of the more popular Pokemon characters. Someone's going to really, really be happy buying this one. And another card featuring Bulbasaur. This one is from the 2000 Tops. I think this is the TV show, episode 10. And just, Bulbasaur is a popular Pokemon. I got my friend who may not have this card who's going to be interested in it. And we're going to get it to somebody that likes it. And then next up we have Snorlax, which for some reason we didn't grade sooner. It's a holofoil, however they pronounce it in the Pokemon world, but only graded out a 6. That's probably why I held off on getting it graded. I must have pre-screened it earlier in the year and said no, and you see all that edge chipping. And there's some scratches in the picture under close microscopic examination when you zoom in on the pixels with the high-resolution scan. But somebody will want it. Paul Skeens, very popular pitcher. Went to LSU. Now he's playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He had a pretty darn good 2024 season. It's a shame the Pirates couldn't do more in the playoffs, get him some more playing time. Here's another one. I sent 3, and I do believe I packed them consecutively so that when they graded, they would all be in the same spot. And okay, so 2 10s, 1 9. I'm not going to sit here and hold up all 3 side by side to see why some got 10, some got 9, one got 9, and what stopped it from getting Gem Mint. stopped her from getting pristine. Okay, so there's some centering issues on the back of the 9. But hey, it's a player that people are going to recognize, and with all the 10s I have of Paul Skeen's rookie cards, make a lot of people happy with that. Adley Rutschman, he was Rookie of the Year. This is a pristine 10 of one of his Topps rookie cards. You know, it's not necessarily a high-end Topps Chrome, the Titans subset, but it's still a rookie card. It's still a pristine 10. There's going to be a super collector out there that's very happy to have this in his or her set. Even if they buy this and get it graded through one of the other grading companies, that's more power to them. And Mr. Rushman again. This one's a 9, also a Topps Chrome. I'm sorry, it's a Bowman Chrome. And it's a nice card. It's just not a 9.5 or a 10. So it's just finding the right collector that wants it. Some Bryce Harper. We started watching baseball again this year. We really clicked with Bryce Harper in my household. You know, you look at the negative reports about him early in his career, and then how he's kind of become a locker room leader while still maintaining that fire that made him notorious to begin with. So pretty cool watching people grow. So these are mostly going to be personal collection Bryce Harper cards, which with them being in 9 condition, that's fine. They're not rookies anyway. And they're just, you know, for my own personal reflection. And Lionel Messi, Crunch Time. I have the Crunch Time subset for some of my football cards, American football cards. And so when I saw they had this for soccer, I got 2 copies of it. I gave one to my godchild and one for myself. And the one I kept just happened to grade out as a 10. Okay, here's some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff for my buddy, that super Yu-Gi-Oh collector. And right off, he's got a Gem Mint 10 on this specific card. I don't know the exact value of the stuff he sends. I try to do my best guess when I'm filling out the paperwork, but from what I'm able to gather, he's dabbling in some high-end stuff. I don't know if these specific pieces are of his higher-end areas of his stash, but I see things like Secret Rare, and I can only assume we're talking high-end over here. Either way, he's happy. So happy whenever we get these cards back. And then we got the Red Eyes, also a 9. He's going to be super happy about that 10 earlier. And I will give the people that do Yu-Gi-Oh credit. These cards are just so beautiful. The artwork, the color schemes, the varying matte and gloss that they put on them. I don't know art words. White Dragon I recognize from just my own little dabbling as a reseller. I mean, this is beautiful. I used to love dragons when I was younger, so seeing the different artworks on these Yu-Gi-Oh cards centered around dragons, that's real cool. And while I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, I can appreciate the aesthetics and the artwork that go behind creating these cards. It's pretty impressive. And cat jumping on the bed. Okay, so my friends, Masters of the Universe cards. This is Tila. And if you remember anything about the He-Man cartoons, Masters of the Universe, Tila is the daughter of Man-at-Arms, and she is the strongest female warrior for the good guys, whereas Evil Lynn was the strongest female warrior for the bad guys. This is a Dan Marino card. My friend that submitted the Masters of the Universe cards also had 3 sporting cards he wanted to submit, and this was one of them. You know, 8.5 on a card from this period is really awesome. So here we got He-Man and Battle Cat. This was a mint 9. And, you know, pulling a 10 on the first one kind of set the bar the rest of the way, I guess, on this whole set. But let's not understate how significant getting a 9 on a 40-year-old card is. That is really cool. And here's Ram Man. Ram Man got an 8, which, again, I have a whole set of the same set of cards, and they start bending after a while just because of the adhesive aging on the stickers. So I don't think mine are going to grade as high as his. And, we got all this cool things. You got the Sorceress coming in at a 9. And then, there's so much white space on these cards that any speck of dirt will throw your grade off. It'll be so apparent. Just like having a white vehicle, to get dirty easier. Skeletor and Panther, a gem mint 10. I don't think I've ever gotten a 10 on a card that was more than 10 years old. Every 10 I've ever gotten was a modern release. And the best comparison I can make was one of my pre-war tobacco cards once clocked in as a 9. And right here we got another one of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Beautiful artwork. So yeah, I have one card that's 80 years old that's a mint 9. But other than that, I never see in my submissions 40-year-old cards grading so high. And it's super exciting to see it, even if it's not stuff I personally am collecting. This is going to go to somebody who's a collector. This isn't going to somebody to resale. Here's Manny Faces, another 10. This is for someone's personal collection. He has a Gem Mint 10 set, almost complete set of this whole card. Man at Arms, another Gem Mint 10. So, lowest grade he's had, it's a 21 card set. Lowest so far has been an 8. He realistically could start playing the game of trying to have the whole set be in one uniform grade. Here's another Tila card. This one came in as a 9. And he probably could pull off a full set of 10s, a full set of 9.5s or higher. Collectors are interesting the way we think. There's people that might want to downsize to all 9.5s because it'd be easier than getting all 10s. Here's a Skeletor, another 10. With all the 10s he got out of this 21 card set, I would almost want to encourage him to try to get upgraded versions of the cards that didn't gem. But that's not for me to tell somebody else how to collect. And then here's the Guardians of Eternia, Orko, Tila, He-Man, Man at Arms, and on the back you got a nice little shot of Beast Man for the little puzzle gimmick that Topps used to do. Always loved that from my Garbage Pail Kids. And then we got, this is from the same set, but the artwork looks a little different because it's like a action shot from one of the episodes. So it's not just necessarily a card highlighting one specific character. And again, the back, they have the artwork. So it looks like the set was like half scenes from the show and then half just character highlights, which is cool. It's a good way, especially if it's 1984. Maybe you're just now starting to watch He-Man. These cards might help you understand the characters. There were so many action figures by this point. Getting all the comic books, and here's a 9.5. Getting all the comic books at the time was probably difficult. All the figures came with like a little mini comic book to kind of catch you up on the story. That was really hard to keep up if you got in late. So these cards would have been helpful. And it's my cat coming in to see what I'm doing because there's a box involved. Meanwhile, we got another nice 9 right here. And one thing I don't necessarily like about this set is outside of the cards featuring the individual characters, the action scenes do not have actual names on the cards, and the label reflects that. You have to be very careful about making sure you organize them in the right order. They do have the numbers on the front, but I personally would prefer if I could say it's card 6, and then they have it's from this episode, or Stratos swoops in for the save, or whatever characters are featured. That's a really cool drawing of He-Man right there. Kitty's going to go into the window hopefully soon and stop messing with my light. And here's a nice 10, Beastman versus He-Man. And I just feel like when they made this, they could have put something like that as the title. He-Man / Beastman. But in either event, my buddy got a 10. Another 10. I didn't break down how many 10s of the 21 cards he got, but I would think we're at least 5 or 6 in now. And here's an 8-5 with Merman. I never had a Merman figure. I'm going to have to look into that, and trying to figure out where it went wrong on the 8-5, and I saw some chipping on that top edge. That's probably what it was. It happens. Then we got another 9-5. This is, Triclops was his name. This is what the puzzle on the back's going to look like. And it's a cool little gimmick Topps used to do. Build the puzzle with your cards. Whoever owned this set before my buddy, obviously, didn't try to put the puzzle together, because these cards are just in amazing shape. And then here we got many faces, and is that Merman? They're having a bit of a beef. And then you got Beastman versus He-Man on the back for the red border puzzle. And we did find out that it's a 21 card set, but one of them has 2 different backs. We found that out after we submitted this set. So he is trying to find a copy of the card with the other back. This is from a 1986 set put out by Wonder Bread, also He-Man related, but not a part of the sticker set that my buddy had graded. This is his card too. This is from a play set. I definitely want to get one for myself, just because I like He-Man too. We both have a lot of nostalgia connected to it. And then his buddy had him submit this Dale Earnhardt card through us. I don't know a whole lot about NASCAR, other than I do know the name Dale Earnhardt. But, I mean, this card, it graded out of 5.5, and it's not hard to see why. I hope the owner of this card is getting it graded for his own personal collection or display, and didn't have any ideas of like flipping it, because the damage is very apparent. And I'm not a collector that tells other people what to grade or how to grade. This is your hobby. You do as you see fit. You're spending the money. You spend your money how you see fit. It's none of my business if you're submitting highly damaged cards, if that's what you want to do. It's not my business if you're grading penny cards, if that's what you want to do. Dennis Rodman, I believe this is the same gentleman that had the Dale Earnhardt card. He wanted to get his Rodman graded. And again, it just goes back to these red back cards. They so easy to show the chipping on the corners and the edges. It's but at the same time, it's Dennis Rodman. He is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. How would you not want to collect him if you're a basketball fan? And then he's known for the Bulls, but if I'm a completionist, I would want to have him in his Pistons uniform too. It's interesting how us collectors think, and we all approach it differently. But I don't think there's any wrong way for any of it. But y'all take care. This has been fun.